The start of the long weekend gets wet.
We're tracking a few rain chances for your Labor Day weekend, plus the latest on Hurricane Dorian.
We need Zeke.
But will he be back before the Cowboys opening? Get ready, 35 is about to get even worse. Why, that's actually good news. And big bucks for playing video games? Live from South Victory, WFAA News at 6 starts now. Well, a blanket of showers popped up across North Texas, and it brought a blast of colder air to kick off our Labor Day weekend. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Lawrence.
And I'm Cynthia Seguirre. Right now, still some lingering showers, but a remarkable 78 degrees. Arriving flights at both DFW and Love Field were delayed this afternoon, and some delays continue. Meteorologist Jesse Hawila is in the Weather Center. Not a bad way to kick off Labor Day weekend, Jesse.
Now, when we think of holidays and rain, we might get a little like, oh, man, but don't complain. It's in the 70s. We finally got some rain. You can walk outside and breathe. The air is fresh. It's 79 degrees in Dallas, 75 in Fort Worth, 74 degrees in Denton, and 74 in McKinney. Now, it is still hot when you go to the south of I-20, where they really haven't seen rain. Palestine's at 90, Athens at 93, Jacksonville's at 90 degrees as well. Here's how much rain some of the area saw today. Some of you saw more than 2 inches of rain. Look at Gainesville, 2 inches there. Parts of Denton, Collin, and Cook County saw about 1 to 2.5 inches of rain. A little bit less as you move into Tarrant and Dallas counties, where that complex of thunderstorms kind of fizzled out. Left over right now, just a few sprinkles and showers to the south and east of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Also to the southwest toward Meridian. A few little light rain showers are possible this evening down toward Navarro County, but I hate to tell you this. If you're south of I-20, your rain chance right now is not looking so good. But if we go toward Commerce and Emory, Sulphur Springs, a little light rain is moving your way. This complex of thunderstorms developed hundreds of miles to the north of Texas, and it made it into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, especially north of Dallas and Tarrant counties, and that's why those heavy rain totals are right there near the Red River. It is fizzling out. It brought us the cool down. So enjoy that for the rest of this evening. Now, coming up, we're going to talk about the very latest on Hurricane Dorian, a very intimidating looking hurricane. That eye is getting really well defined. Our concerns continue to rise for the east coast of Florida for the beginning of the week. We'll have the latest track on what happens with Dorian and how much rain that's going to produce for eastern Florida coming up.
And on that note, Jesse, of course, like you just said, it is a major hurricane at a Category 3, expected to make landfall early next week. Well, today, Texas Baptist men and Encore left to help those in the path of the storm in Florida. Dorian could cause catastrophic damage, and these organizations will be there to help in the aftermath.
You know, he had his whole life ahead of him until it ended inside a hotel in South Lake. And tonight we've learned what killed Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs.
The Tarrant County Medical Examiner says he died from a combination of alcohol and drugs. WFAA's Jonah Javad is here with us, and the Skaggs family released a statement saying an Angels employee may have been involved. Jonah?
Yeah, we're getting new developments today. The autopsy released. We'll share some details about that in just a moment here, but I want to go back. Tyler Skaggs, in case you didn't know, died in the South Lake hotel room back on July 1st when the Angels were in town to play the Rangers. Today we learned Skaggs had fentanyl and oxycodone in his bloodstream along with alcohol the night of his death. Now, how Skaggs came into possession of these narcotics is still unclear, but according to the Skaggs family, it may involve an Angels employee. In a statement released by the family today, quote, "We are heartbroken to learn that the passing of our beloved Tyler was the result of a combination of dangerous drugs and alcohol that is completely out of character for someone who worked so hard to become a Major League Baseball player and had a very promising future in the game he loves so much. We will not rest until we learn the truth about how Tyler came into possession of these narcotics, including who supplied them. To that end, we have hired attorney Rusty Hardin to assist us." The Angels also released a statement this afternoon. Tyler was and will always be a beloved member of the Angels family, and we are deeply saddened to learn what caused this tragic death. Angels baseball has provided full cooperation and assistance to the South Lake Police as they conduct their investigation. Skaggs' death was ruled an accident. According to the autopsy report, he was found on his bed fully clothed. No signs of trauma. Cause of death, he choked on his own vomit. A sad story indeed, and still more answers to come as this investigation continues.
Let's hope the family gets all the answers that they deserve. Thanks, Jonah. More dangerous than West Nile. Health officials across the country are keeping an eye on Triple E, a potentially deadly virus transmitted by mosquitoes. Infections peak this time of year, and the CDC is reporting several cases across the country, including 4 confirmed cases in horses in Texas. The virus is usually found near swampy areas, but North Texas has the second highest mosquito population in the state. The CDC says the best way to avoid Triple E, wear repellent approved by the EPA, wear long pants and sleeves, and get rid of the standing water.
Dallas police don't do this often, telling officers they can't take time off during the trial of Amber Geiger.
Yeah, she's charged with shooting and killing her neighbor after mistaking his apartment for her own.
Investigative reporter Tanya Iser joins us from our WFAA newsroom. Tanya, this is an unusual step for the Dallas Police Department. Can't imagine everyone's too happy about this.
Well, I really haven't heard any complaints. In a lot of ways, it was expected. It is unusual in that this doesn't happen very often, but it's not unusual in the sense that when the department wants to have the ability to field a large number of police officers. It's a sign in a lot of ways that the department is concerned about the potential for unrest during this trial and afterwards. Detectives are also being told to have their uniform on hand and to have gas masks and vests and other gear in the event that they are sent out into the field. The department's also been putting hundreds of patrol officers through a refresher course on how to handle large crowds or even riots. So these are clear signs the department wants to be prepared for this trial and the aftermath.
So, Tanya, the jury selection begins next Friday, but the judge still hasn't ruled on the change of venue request in this case.
Right. The judge has said that she will not rule on change of venue until the end of jury selection. She has said she wants to see if an impartial jury can be seated. And for now, it appears that this trial will start September 23rd as scheduled in Dallas County. Back to you.
And Tanya Iser will be there. Our thanks to you.
All right, thank you, Tanya. 4 weeks ago, our state was shaken to its core. A man from North Texas opened fire at a Walmart in El Paso and killed 22 people. Now, no one thing can heal those kind of wounds, but we'll take another step next week on the football field. WFAA's Teresa Witter joins us now in studio with that story.
You know, Chris, Cynthia, it certainly has not been easy to get to this point. This game was canceled, moved, rescheduled, but tonight, for the first time, the superintendents of the 2 districts involved in this are talking about it, and this is symbolic. They are talking side by side together.
I'm fine. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
There have been countless phone calls and emails, but the superintendents from Plano and Isleta schools had never been face to face until now.
I think that's also an important message for everyone to see that, you know, we care about each other. We care about each other's school districts. We care about each other's kids and communities. And, you know, people need to know, like, we are together.
Unity after a tragedy.
A kick in the gut.
Sowed division. On August 3rd, a man drove across Texas on a mission to kill 22 people in El Paso. An attack fueled by white supremacy and hate, police say. The accused shooter graduated from Plano. His high school was set to host El Paso Eastwood in the pageantry that is Texas Friday Night Lights. But Plano canceled, citing safety concerns.
Dr. De La Torre and I had numerous conversations leading up to that very difficult decision. You know, we plan for safety. We don't wait for a threat. You know, in school business, you wouldn't want us to wait. You want us to plan.
There was no specific threat, but Plano's neighbor, Frisco ISD, brokered a deal. The district offered up the Star.
It's got some built-in safety features.
That game will now go on, what the superintendents both call a significant milestone.
Nothing is as normal as high school football in Texas. It's that normalcy that we want to bring back to our lives.
Side by side, they offered a unified message.
The behavior or the actions of one individual are not going to, we're not going to allow it to define who we are and how we live.
Now, Frisco ISD did play a big role in making this happen, and Frisco's mayor is now working to get local businesses to help roll out the red carpet for all of El Paso's players, students, and fans. Chris?
No doubt they are going to feel embraced when they get here. I want to remind you, we'll be broadcasting the entire game between Plano Senior High and Eastwood High School. It's at 7 o'clock next Thursday. You can watch it right here on Channel 8, and we'll be streaming it live as well. All right, parents, we may want to think twice about those video game rules at home.
Yeah, still to come, the large tournament promising big bucks.
And 35, well, it's going to get worse, but TxDOT says it needs to so that we'll all love it someday. Check this out. I'm guessing this guest was not invited inside a Fort Worth ISD conference room. Our partners at the Star-Telegram report a district employee found this rat snake yesterday. It was about 3 to 4 feet long. A maintenance worker picked it up and released it outside the offices.
Kudos to that maintenance worker. Give the person a raise. Well, driving through Austin is about to get even worse. TxDOT plans to put millions of dollars into expanding 35 through the city. Plan adds more lanes from near Round Rock all the way to near Buda. On the worst part of the highway, which you know it, in downtown Austin, there would be 2 new managed lanes in both directions, and they'd be free. Get this though, construction on this project won't start until 2022, so it'll be like hanging over our heads.
Oh yeah, relief is years away, years away. You know, Arlington's going to be packed this weekend.
Yeah, big football game, baseball games, and even a video game tournament. The big competition promising a lot of money. Parents, you'll want to hear about this next.
Remember all the times you told the kids to put down the controllers and stop playing video games? Yeah, as parents, we may want to rethink that.
Hundreds of video gamers are in Arlington this weekend trying to win a lot of money. Eric Alvarez reports.
They'll try again with Ellie.
Team colors, lots of action, and high intensity.
When you're competing, nobody likes to lose.
Tony Montanino from Austin wore his touchdown tuxedo to the EA Madden Classic at the Esports Stadium in Arlington.
This is far and away the best venue I've ever been to in my life.
The 100,000 square foot facility is home to over 500 gamers facing off head to head.
I think it's about 96 Xbox consoles here.
EA Sports' Matt Marcoux says the stakes are higher than you might think.
Playing for their share of $190,000.
If you think all of this is nuts, just wait until night 2 when hundreds of gamers are going to join tens of thousands of baseball fans across the street at Globe Life Park for a Rangers game and tens of thousands of football fans at AT&T Stadium when Auburn takes on Oregon. All of this, believe it or not, is happening in less than a 1-mile radius.
There's just a lot of stuff going on.
But organizers encourage baseball and football fans to have a game plan.
If they're worried, to show up early.
Getting a jump is also important for the gamers. They have to get through tight security.
You need to have a secure environment.
This event comes almost exactly 1 year after violence broke out at a similar Madden tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, where a shooting left 2 gamers dead and almost a dozen people injured. But organizers are confident in the security.
You know, we think we've done a great job today putting any sort of concerns at rest.
That way, instead of worrying about safety or traffic, these gamers can keep their hands on the sticks and their eyes on the prize. In Arlington, I'm Eric Alvarez.
Yeah, I was telling Izzy we were been watching all the people outside jogging and running. It's just such beautiful weather right now.
78 degrees? Are you kidding me? It's August 30th.
You don't expect this as you're going into Labor Day weekend. And I tweeted, the complaint department is closed in the Weather Center. Don't even think about it. That means I'm going to get an email.
Yeah.
I look forward to your email. Let's take a look at here. We're going to talk about the rain totals across the area today. I mean, come on. 1.25 inches in Denton today, and it's 74 degrees. It's hard to argue with that. DBU's at 79 right now. They picked up just about 2/3 of an inch of rain. And then beautiful Cedar Hill at 79 degrees. They picked up that's a gorgeous shot, isn't it? 1/4 inch of rain. And we are all loving it because the high today was 93, but that happened much earlier in the afternoon. Now it's the normal high is 94. We've cooled way down into the 70s. It's 75 degrees out of DFW right now. The winds are calm. The rain, unfortunately, I know we really needed this rain. Some of you saw a whole bunch, and some of you saw nada. And I know that it was feast or famine, but I tell you, a lot of parts of Denton and Collin counties, Cook counties and Grayson County saw more than 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain. Some of you didn't see that much, of course, but a few showers are still lingering there near Sulphur Springs and Commerce. Unfortunately, the rain is coming to an end, but that leaves us with a great Friday night as we kick off this holiday weekend. There's still maybe a shower or a sprinkle left over the next couple of hours, but the temperatures, of course, very comfortable right now in the 70s. Let's talk about our next chance of rain. That comes in on Saturday, and it's going to be isolated to scattered in nature. Watch as we head into the afternoon. This is 12 p.m. We'll see a bubbling up of a few showers and thunderstorms across the area. This is not like the rain chance we saw today, where it was a complex of storms that developed way to the north and then kind of swept in. This would be just a few spotty showers and storms that pop up late in the afternoon and into the evening, so most of you will not see rain. The big weather story, all eyes on Hurricane Dorian over the last 6 hours. The eye has become so well defined. I mean, you don't see things like that very often. This is a very organized system, and it's just going to get stronger over the next 48 to 72 hours. It's a Category 3 hurricane right now with winds of 115 miles per hour, and it's moving west-northwest around 9. It's still about 600 miles to the east of Palm Beach. So it's still hundreds of miles out to sea, which is not good news because that means it has more time to strengthen. This part of the Atlantic is extremely warm. There's no wind shear, so there's really nothing that's going to stop Dorian from becoming even stronger. In fact, by Saturday afternoon, winds will be in excess of 120 miles per hour. It becomes a Category 4 hurricane by Sunday morning. We're talking 1 a.m. We could have Category 4 wind speeds of 130, and then unfortunately it may strengthen even more. Look at this. By Monday afternoon, just off the coast of Florida, winds of 140 miles per hour will start eyeballing Palm Beach up to Fort Pierce and even farther north than that. It does look to take a very quick jog to the north right along the coast as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, and it may maintain Category 2 strength all the way up toward Jacksonville, depending on where the eye and the center of circulation goes. That is so crucial in terms of who sees the most damaging winds, where the heaviest rain is falling. Now, I'm going to show you the comparison of two models. This is the American and the European model. These are two of our most trustworthy models. And if you look on the east coast of Florida, the heaviest rain band, according to the American model, is right there, just hugging the coast, where they could see anywhere from 6 to 12 inches plus of rain. So more than a foot of rain in some spots is possible. Then you compare that to the European model. Look at that. Just the slightest little difference off to the east. We're talking 50 miles to 75 miles of a track to the east. You're left with 3 to 7 inches of rain along the coast. Still some flooding and damaging winds are still expected because of how close this will be. But boy, you can really see where that center of circulation, according to the European, stays just hugging the coast. That would be the better solution. We want that to happen. So either way, through Thursday, we're expecting 10 to 15 inches of rain along the coast of Florida. Inland Florida could still see up to 10 inches of rain, and that does include Orlando, too. And a reminder that it's water that is the #1 killer with tropical systems. This includes inland flooding, storm surge, and high surf. So we're going to watch this very carefully in the days to come. Tonight, 76 degrees locally. Any rain we have now will come to an end. Tomorrow is a hot and humid day. High temperatures a little more realistic for this time of the year, and I know Chris is very disappointed. He's very excited about today, but we're back in the middle 90s through the weekend and Labor Day, and then we're just going to maintain 95 through 97 for the next 10 days.
Hard to believe it's football season.
I know.
Well, it's raining, so it is football season.
Yeah.
It's high school football season if there's rain on a Friday, and we learned that after last year. All right. There are a few people more optimistic, or at least publicly optimistic, than Jerry Jones. It's part of what makes the Cowboys owner the ultimate salesman. And to his credit, this team is worth the hype. I genuinely think they can make the playoffs and be a Super Bowl contender. But to think they can do all that without Ezekiel Elliott, I'm not buying that. And I don't think Jerry does either, but the Cowboys still have to prepare and plan for Week 1 as if Zeke will not play. The contract holdout continues, and Zeke's only real leverage is to miss games in hopes his absence causes the Cowboys to lose games and force their hand. That's what Emmitt Smith did in '93. Cowboys started 0-2. Jerry paid Emmitt. They went on to win the Super Bowl. The season starts a week from Sunday, and it's looking more and more like number 21 will not play against the Giants.
There's no deadlines here with any of our contracts with our players. Certainly no deadline here, and we'll be meeting Zeke anytime we can get him out there, we'll be needing him. So we don't have deadlines.
All right, it's week 1 of the high school football season, and we're back with our game of the week tonight. Duncanville at Lancaster. Dale Hansen, you know him. He'll be out there. Catch him later tonight for live sports at 10 o'clock. As for News 8 at 6, we'll be right back.
Boy, we hope you'll join us Saturday night for WFAA premiere.
Love Them First, Lessons from Lucy Laney Elementary is a powerful documentary. It is a raw and real look at what so many of our schools are facing today. The film chronicles the struggles of a North Minneapolis principal fighting to get her school off the failing list and the success she had while doing it. Love Them First airs tomorrow right after WFAA News at 10.
Yeah, I think a lot of us internally are really looking forward to seeing that documentary.
It's going to be a good one, and we'll see you tonight at 10.